Everybody, today we're reacting to Edward's Essential Express. To the person, I'm still looking for that Edward video. I can't seem to find it. I don't know why I'm having such trouble finding it. So once I find it, I'll react to it. And to the person who wants me to do Toad Standby, please stop asking me to do that. I'm not going to be able to do it because, again, copyright claims, Canada, YouTube is a lot more stricter than you guys in the States. So I'm sorry, I won't be able to do it. Please stop asking me. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, we're going to skip the intro because I don't want to get a copyright claim.
Quarries and factories,
Okay.
which feed passengers and freight to the mainland.
Okay.
They may be run by smaller engines, but this doesn't make these lines any less important.
Duh.
And it doesn't mean the engines working there don't work as hard as their mainline counterparts.
Yep. Where is Edward? Where is he?
One evening, Thomas and Duck were wrestling in the yard when James bustled through.
I don't like James.
I'm exhausted, he grumbled. Umpteen passenger runs and one too many goods trains. Thank goodness I'm helping out on Edward.
Okay, maybe James is not so bad. There are times I do like him. One of these times I don't like him because he's
Branch line
complaining.
tomorrow. I could do with a rest. Rest? Spluttered Thomas. Branch lines are hard work, James. We work just as hard as any mainline engine, you know. Quite often, we work a lot harder, agreed Duck. Pah! Running a branch line is easy. You get a nice short run and you pull lighter trains. What's so difficult about that?
Yeah.
There's a lot more to it than just that, James. You wouldn't like having to shunt your own trains and having to look after all the goods traffic now, would you?
Ooh.
Come on, Duck. It can't be that difficult. I bet by the time I'm done, the Fat Controller will give me my own branch line. Thomas and Duck weren't convinced.
No, I'm not convinced either. I'm not convinced either.
The next morning, James arrived at Edward's station, ready to start work on Edward's branch line. The station yard can get a bit busy, James, Edward explained. I'll need you to shunt the yard for me whilst I take the morning passenger run. Yeah, no problem. I shunt my own trains all the time. Yes, but it's not just your train today, James. There's trucks of scrap metal to go to the scrap yard, some oil tankers which need to be sent to the big station, and the empty trucks to go back to the docks. And that's before Donald arrives with the new trucks for the China Clay Works. James was surprised.
His face.
But I can't do all that. Edward chuckled. It's all part of running your own branch line. You need to learn to take the rough with the smooth.
Exactly, James.
James didn't
thought this
enjoy
was about
working in the
Edward.
yard.
Okay, wait a minute. This is called Edward's Essential Express. Why is we talking about James?
When Edward is shunting, he treats the trucks fairly and doesn't bump them unless they misbehave.
Good.
In return, they are obedient and give him no trouble.
Well, that's good.
Well, because James always bumped them, even if they were behaving, he always made things very difficult for him.
Duh. Because he doesn't treat them with
Gordon thought it
respect.
was very funny. Oh my, look, a new tank engine. I'm sorry, James, I didn't realize it was you. It's not funny, James grumbled. Edward's left me to shunt the yard for him. What was it we used to say? Gordon teased. Tender engines don't shunt, wasn't it?
Uh-oh, here comes Edward.
Edward was indignant. I'm a tender engine, and I shunt. You have to if you run a branch line, Gordon. I'm the pride of the main line. I have no interest in running a branch line, thank you very much.
Gordon.
James saw an opportunity. Well, if you like shunting so much, Edward, you can shunt here instead of me. I'll run the passenger trains. Shunting is important too, James. You can run the next train of empty trucks to the clay pits if you like. It'll be a good opportunity for you to learn the route and the routine of the line. Gordon chortled. Oh, my little James. how exciting it is to be a branch line engine. James didn't understand why Edward wanted him to learn the line. I've taken hundreds of trains to Brendan docks. What's so different about it this time? I suppose it's better than being stuck in the yard. It is important to know the route properly in case something goes wrong, Edward explained. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Any number of things.
Okay, you should know that's a rule in cartoons. You never say that. You never say that because something can always go wrong.
That's why it's important. Later that day, Donald arrived with brand new trucks from the mainland. Ah, James.
Donald!
These are the new trucks for the clay pits. Trucks? This is James. He'll take you the rest of the way.
What time is it? Okay.
James thought that because the trucks were new,
Sorry,
they would
I'm at
need
work.
to be
That's why
taught
I'm
how to
filming this.
behave.
Here at work.
As he backed down to take them to the clay pits, he bumped them hard.
You're gonna regret that.
What was that for? Now listen to me and listen good. I am your engine, and you will do as I say. There'll be no holding back, no pushing, and above all else, no nonsense. Do you understand? James thought he was being clever and showing the trucks who was in charge. But all he had done was aggravate them.
Duh.
Wait until we are full, they whispered to each other. We'll get our own back then.
He's gonna regret that, but this is about James, not Edward.
All through the journey, James focused on keeping the trucks in order and didn't concentrate on learning the route. The trucks did. They were keeping their eyes out for the best places to cause mischief on the return journey.
Oh no. Oh no.
By the time they reached the clay pits, James had bumped them so much that they were determined to get their own back. You'll need to take extra care with the trucks when you come back, James, Ben told him. The clay might be wet, and that can make the load a bit heavier. Makes no difference to me, snorted James. I've pulled heavier loads for greater distances. This'll be easy for me.
Oh.
James scuttled away to the
He
harbour
shouldn't
yard
have
to
said
take
that.
on coal and water.
He shouldn't have said that. He should not have said that. You should not have
While
said
he
that,
was
James.
resting, Edward puffed in with a passenger train.
Oh no.
I delivered those
Only
new
one
trucks to the
thing
China clay pits. Noisy, disagreeable things. Wouldn't stop chattering all the way there. I soon put them in their place. Edward grimaced. Donald told me they behaved well for him. Perhaps it takes a more patient engine to get the best out of them. Well, if you think you can do better, I'd be happy to take your passengers. I know the route well enough by now. I should hope so, James.
He's gonna wish he listened to Edward. He's gonna wish that he listened to him.
Bill was just marshalling the last
Wait,
of the trucks into
What did
place
you say?
when Edward bustled in. He was
Oh
surprised.
no. Oh no.
We thought James was taking these back. It was supposed to be Bill, said Edward, but we agreed to swap duties. Is he scared of getting dirty now that the trucks are full?
Pretty
That's
much.
quite enough, Edward scolded and started off.
He shouldn't have done that. He should not have done
The
that.
trucks listened with suspicion. Another bossy boiler. We can't pay the red one out, but we'll show this one what we can do.
Oh no. Edward.
The rain had made the rails
Hurt
slippery.
Edward.
Edward was having to take care to maintain grip. The trucks noticed he was slipping a little and began their tricks. Hold back! Hold back! They yelled. There's no cause for such behaviour, Edward told them firmly. Now come on, that's enough. You can't tell us what to do. The truck's plan was working. They had distracted poor Edward so much that he couldn't prepare in time to slow for a steep slope ahead. On! Bust my boiler! Exclaimed Edward.
James.
He tried to brake, but the wet rail just carried him along, and he couldn't stop. He whistled frantically to warn the signalman as he passed. Edward tried to think. Brake hard on every hill we come to, he called to the driver. We'll slow them down that way. Bit by bit, Edward began to take back control of the train. It wasn't enough. The trucks were still using their weight against him. The junction lay ahead. Edward watched in horror as Gordon thundered through on the main line with the express. But then, had an idea. That's it! I know how to stop them! James was preparing to help bank Gordon and his train up the hill when Edward and the truck shot past him. I've got to help him, thought James. Gordon was impatiently waiting for James on the hill when, much to his surprise... What on earth? Edward brought the train to a complete stop at the top of the hill.
That was close.
Tired, but very relieved. I knew that would work. James was relieved to see that Edward was okay, and Gordon was impressed. The guard pinned down the brakes on the trucks, and Edward backed them safely down to the yard.
This is what I like, Edward.
That night, Edward was given a hero's welcome when he came back to the sheds. Well done, Edward, said Thomas. You were splendid. However, did you stop them in time? Asked Percy. Any other engine would have come off the rails for sure. You worked a line as long as I have, Percy. You'll learn a few tricks, and quite often, those tricks can be useful. But trucks never give you any trouble, Edward, said Henry.
I can't.
What happened?
I can't do it.
James looked meekly at his buffers. He felt very guilty. It was my fault. I was too rough with the new trucks and it made them cross. They would have tried getting back at me if Edward hadn't taken my place. I'm sorry, Edward. Edward smiled. Just remember to be a little kinder and a little more respectful to trucks in future, James.
Pretty much.
That's why they don't give me any trouble. I know that now. Perhaps you could teach me how to look after trucks properly. It'd be my pleasure, James. And perhaps when we're done, we can teach Gordon how to dig up the hill on his own. The other engines laughed.
That's clever. That was awesome. Anyways, guys, I'll see you on the next episode, in the next video. This is K Brown 101 signing out. Adios, everybody.